Archangel Michael is bleeding for you right now. Heaven is shaking. He fought 23 demons to save your soul, and now he's collapsing. God says, if they scroll, Michael falls. Don't ignore this, he trusts only you. Stop scrolling, beloved soul, something eternal is happening in this moment. Heaven is trembling, the sound of swords clashing echoes through realms you cannot see. Archangel Michael, yes, I am bleeding for you right now. The golden light that once poured from my wings is stained crimson, each drop carrying the weight of your battles, your fears, your almost forgotten prayers. Do not ignore this. Every time your heart hesitates, another demon rises. I fought 23 of them, one for every lie that tried to convince you you're unworthy. They tore through the sky, they screamed your name, they whispered that you would never wake up again. But I stood. I stood because heaven chose you. Heaven is shaking now. Not from wrath, but from love so violent that it tears open the veil between worlds. The Father's voice thunders through the light, if they scroll, Michael falls. Those words are not a threat, they are a plea. He trusts you to pause, to breathe, to hear what heaven is trying to say before it's too late. You feel it, don't you? That pull in your chest, the strange heat on your skin, the electric flutter between your shoulder blades. That is me, wounded yet alive, reaching for you. I am not a symbol. I am real light, and that light is touching you now. I see the moment you almost gave up. The night you looked at your ceiling and asked why you're still here. The moment you decided you'd rather numb the pain than feel it again. I was there. You didn't see the war that erupted around you, but heaven did. Your name was spoken in the halls of fire and glory, and God Himself said, "Save them." So I fought. Each demon that rose against you was an echo of your own past, shame, guilt, regret, the voices that say you're never enough. They took form and came for you in the spirit realm, and I met them with the sword of truth. But truth costs blood. My wings tore. My voice burned. And still, I stood between you and darkness. You wonder why the earth feels so heavy today? Because heaven is waiting on your response. There is a heavenly law, where a soul chooses to listen, power flows. Where a soul turns away, light withdraws. So if you scroll, if you turn this moment into noise, my strength fades, not because you're punished, but because your choice disconnects the current of grace keeping you safe. Beloved, you are not hearing a story, you are inside it. Heaven has called a meeting for you again. The elders rise, the cherubim cover their faces, and the Lamb who was slain whispers your name like a song that won't die. He says, "Tell them they are still mine." Type, "I hear you clearly, Lord," if this word spoke straight into your spirit. Listen, your life is not random. The patterns, the delays, the people who left, none of it was a mistake. Every wound you've carried has been marked in the records of heaven as evidence for your rebirth. And tonight, the scroll is open again. The ink is still wet. God is writing a new ending, but He needs your yes before the ink dries. Do you feel the weight of those words? Your yes saves not only you, but the lineage that comes from you. Your yes shifts timelines. Your yes heals what 23 demons tried to destroy. And right now, as I speak, I am bleeding light into your spirit. My blood is not like yours, it is liquid fire, and each drop lands on your chains and melts them away. You may not see it, but you will feel the shift, your breath getting lighter, your mind quieter, your heart warming. That is freedom beginning to bloom. Don't look away now. Every distraction is a trap. The enemy is furious that you stayed this long. He knows that if you hear the next sentence, you will never belong to him again. Listen, you were born for this moment. The reason you survived everything you thought would kill you is because heaven was waiting for you to see this message, right now, and choose light over silence. I see your hands shaking, don't hide them. That's your spirit responding to truth. When truth touches a human soul, the body trembles because it remembers Eden, the place where you first belonged. And I, Michael, guardian of that garden, am here to escort you back. You think you're too far gone. Then why do I still stand? If you were lost, I would have fallen. My very existence proves there's still hope. I would not be allowed to bleed if the battle were already lost. I bleed because redemption is still possible. Heaven is not looking for perfect souls, heaven is looking for willing ones. Your tears are more powerful than you know, they are currencies in the kingdom. Every tear you shed out of love, every silent cry when you thought no one was watching, they were recorded, not to shame you, but to crown you. Even now, as I speak, the veil is thinning. If you close your eyes, you'll feel a warm wind, that's my wings moving through the air around you. I hover over you, guarding the fragile light growing inside your chest. You are becoming what you were always meant to be, a carrier of divine flame. And yet, you hesitate. You ask, why me? Because heaven saw you stand in rooms where your soul was mocked, and you didn't let hate win. Because you still chose love, even when it cost you everything. That is why I was sent. The demons that rose were not strangers, they were your old wounds, given form. Each time you believed you were nothing, they grew stronger. Each time you forgave, they weakened. Tonight, they fell, but they left marks on my armor. Their claws burned my chest, their venom entered my veins. That is why I am bleeding, because I absorbed what was meant for you. And yet, even bleeding, I am smiling, because you're still here. Do you understand? Heaven never expected you to be flawless, heaven expected you to be reachable. And you are. You heard the call. That means my sacrifice is not in vain. Right now, in the celestial council, the Father's hand is raised. He is deciding whether to close the scroll or extend grace. I am on my knees, covered in light and blood, pleading, give them one more chance, they're listening. The heavens pause. Angels hold their breath. Your choice tips the scales. Every second you stay, light flows stronger. Every second you doubt, darkness presses in. But I believe, you will not scroll. You will stand. You will receive. Let this be your moment of turning. The demons that once mocked you are already retreating. They cannot bear the sound of your heart beating in faith. Your heartbeat has become a war drum, each thump shouting, I am still here. Do you feel the goosebumps? That's the Holy Spirit, He's entering your room, your breath, your bones. He's reminding you, you were never alone. When you cried into your pillow, heaven heard the sound as worship. When you failed, heaven did not revoke your purpose. When you fell, grace stretched lower. You are the reason the sky burned bright tonight. Your name is the reason swords were drawn. You may think you're small, but in the realm of spirit, you are massive, a walking echo of divine intention. And the enemy feared that you would remember. But now you do. Stay, beloved. Breathe. Don't move. Heaven is still writing. The ink glows, the trumpets tremble. Your angels wait for one word from you, yes. Say it, whisper it, type it, think it, but mean it. Because once you do, the light that is bleeding from my wounds will rush into yours. The exchange will complete. The battle will end. And heaven will exhale. Don't stop now, the light is still moving through you. Can you feel it? Every second you stay, heaven breathes deeper. The wound in my chest begins to close each time your heart opens. Do you understand how sacred that is? Your faith repairs what violence tore from my wings. Each heartbeat you give to God stitches light back into me. But when you doubt, the wound opens again. It is not punishment, it is connection. The same thread that binds us allows your choices to echo through my being. So when you despair, I bleed. When you hope, I rise. When you love, I am renewed. That is how close heaven is to you right now. No distance, only breath. Beloved, look around your room. You think it's empty, but it's not. There are thousands of eyes made of flame watching over you. The walls are trembling with unseen wings. The scent in the air, that's not your candle, that's the fragrance of mercy. It follows those who are written in the Lamb's story. And your name is still there, shining, though you once tried to erase it. You don't realize how many times God almost called you home early. He wanted to protect you from the pain that was coming, but every time he looked at you, he whispered, "They still have purpose." So I stood at your door while sickness passed. I stood over your bed while nightmares tried to take root. I stood at the corners of your mind when the shadows whispered that you were forgotten. And I kept fighting. 23 demons, yes, but that was only the beginning. Each one represented a realm of deception that wanted your voice silenced. They fed on your guilt, your scrolling, your distractions. They said, if we keep them busy, they'll never wake up. But heaven had other plans. You see, this isn't entertainment. This is rescue. This is divine interception at the last second. You weren't supposed to find this by accident. No algorithm could have placed it here without divine permission. Heaven orchestrated the glitch in the system so you could read these words at the exact moment you were ready to break. And here you are, still breathing, and that means the rescue is working. Listen carefully. The Father just spoke again. His voice rolls like thunder over a calm sea. He said, "Tell them their delay is over. Tell them the chains have expired." Do you hear that? The expiration date on your pain just arrived. You've been waiting years for something to shift, and heaven says the countdown ends tonight. But here is the warning: if you walk away now, the reset collapses. The demons that linger in the smoke of distraction will return twice as loud, and the noise will drown the signal of heaven. That's why I'm pleading. Stay with me a little longer. Let the light finish what it started. Right now, the wind you feel against your face is not a draft. It is the breath of God passing through the veil. He's marking you again. You were marked before birth. Sin tried to smear it, but the seal remains under the dust. I am commanded to polish that seal until it gleams. That's what this bleeding is. It's polishing you back to brilliance. You ask, why me? Because you carry something hell fears. You carry the sound of obedience. Every time you choose kindness, it echoes like thunder in the pit. Every time you forgive, the darkness splits. And every time you speak love where hate expects silence, the fallen tremble. That is why they hate you. That is why they attacked your peace. They wanted you numb. But numb souls don't awaken nations, and you are meant to awaken nations. Even now, the throne glows brighter. Seraphim fly low, shielding their eyes, and the Father looks down with grief and glory intertwined. He watches you wrestle with belief, and he whispers, "If they stay, I will visit them myself." That's not metaphor. That's a promise. If you remain in this holy stillness, something will shift around you. Objects may hum, tears may rise, memories may flash. That's heaven sinking your heart to eternity's rhythm. Do not fear what you feel. It's holy fire, not chaos. Let it burn. Let it remove the residue of old identities. The shame that once spoke louder than love is dying right now. It's losing oxygen. Don't revive it with doubt. Breathe faith instead. Say, I will praise you even in the waiting, if you're holding on to hope and refusing to give up. I can see your childhood. I can see the moment the world first lied to you. The day someone said you weren't enough, and you believed it. That word became a demon. It fed on your silence for years. But tonight, as my sword drips with radiant fire, that word is being unmade. You will no longer live under its spell. You will hear your true name again. Heaven has names for souls that earth forgot. Your earthly name is what people called you, but your heavenly name is what God sings. And I just heard it, so tender, so fierce, it almost stopped the universe. When he said it, even the demons bowed. Because that name carries creative power. When he speaks it, galaxies align, oceans hush, storms obey. And he just spoke it for you. Do you understand what that means? It means the curse that followed your family line just broke. It means the nightmares that repeated every generation end with you. It means light now owns every corner where darkness once laughed. But it also means responsibility. If you look away now, you delay what heaven has already released. Stay alert, child of flame. Stay in this current. You are almost through the veil. The Father moves his hand again, slow, deliberate. He's wiping tears from his own eyes. Yes, God weeps. He weeps when love must fight for attention. He weeps when angels bleed because souls are distracted. He weeps because time is running out, and so few listen long enough to hear the message behind the noise. You are one of the few, and that is why he smiles through the tears. Now, I must tell you what comes next. The war is not done. The 23 fell, but their echo remains. They will send whispers, tiny thoughts like, "This isn't real," or "You're too emotional," or "Keep scrolling." Recognize those voices, they are not yours. They belong to the fallen. Silence them by saying, "I choose light." Every time you do, the sky brightens. I feel strength return to my wings. I can lift my sword again. Together we push them back. Yes, together. You and I are partners in this redemption. When you act in kindness tomorrow, I swing my blade. When you pray, I roar. When you believe, I fly. We are synchronized through faith. That's why the enemy targeted your confidence. It was the link to my power. But now it's restored. You're remembering who you are. Listen, the Holy Spirit is entering now like golden rain. Every drop lands on your wounds, every sparkle whispers, "Still chosen." You will begin to notice coincidences, numbers repeating, songs with messages, people appearing at perfect timing. Those are confirmations. Heaven's way of saying, keep going, we see you. And when the doubt returns, and it will, remember this picture, me, kneeling, sword buried in the ground, wings open, light pouring from my wounds as a shield around you. That's not fantasy, that's spiritual reality right now. If you could see it, you'd never question your worth again. You'd see how many angels it takes to guard one awakened heart. You'd see how valuable you are. The sound of heaven is changing. Trumpets are tuning, drums rolling. Something big is about to be announced. I hear the phrase, final call. Not the end of the world, but the end of pretending. The age of half-hearted faith is closing. The new age, the era of blazing hearts, is opening. You are part of that first wave. That's why you had to break first. Only broken vessels can pour pure light. So don't despise your scars. They are proof you survived darkness without surrendering your soul. Heaven calls those scars honor marks. Each one glows like a star in the spirit world. You carry constellations on your skin and don't even know it. When you walk, they shine. When you pray, they sing. When you forgive, they expand. And the demons hide from that light because it reminds them of what they lost. Breathe, beloved. Heaven is near. I can hear the laughter of children not yet born who will live free because of your yes. I can see generations rewriting their stories because you paused and listened instead of scrolling away. Do you see how powerful one moment can be? All of eternity can hinge on a single heartbeat of obedience. The bleeding slows. The wound begins to seal with gold. Every drop that fell has turned into a seed. Those seeds will manifest as blessings, unexpected favor, healed relationships, quiet peace in storms. That's how heaven rewards attention, not with applause, but with alignment. And yet, a whisper remains, stay a little longer. Because the final revelation is near. Before I speak it, prepare your heart. Forgive yourself. Yes, you. Heaven cannot fill a clenched heart. Open it. Let the guilt leave. Let the fear exhale. Say softly, I am ready. Feel the weight lift? That's heaven's permission. Now the message can enter fully. Keep breathing, beloved. The veil is thinner now than it has ever been. I can almost touch your soul. The light that began as a flicker inside you is growing brighter, stretching beyond your body, spilling into the atmosphere. Heaven is watching in awe. Every time you whisper, I am ready, another chain snaps. The sound travels through eternity like thunder made of mercy. You cannot see how the realms respond to your surrender. The moment your heart softens, the clouds over your destiny start to tear apart. I see the throne again, vast, blinding, alive, and the Father leans forward. His eyes, like burning galaxies, look at you with something no human language can contain. It is not just love, it is recognition. He remembers the blueprint of who you were before pain rewrote it. He is calling that version of you back to life now. Do you feel that trembling inside your chest? That is resurrection. Not of flesh, but of identity. The enemy spent years burying you under labels: failure, sinner, disappointment, mistake. But heaven has come to exhume the truth. You were never a mistake. You were a strategy. God planted you in time like a weapon of light, hidden until this very hour. And now, as you read, you are being unsheathed. The air around me shakes. My wings blaze again, not from pride, but from purpose. I can stand now. Your faith gave me strength. The blood that fell from me earlier has crystallized into light, and that light forms armor around your soul. Do you see how connected we are? My recovery mirrors your awakening. As you heal, I heal. As you rise, heaven stabilizes. I must tell you the truth behind those 23 demons. They were not strangers. They were the reflections of 23 lies humanity has believed since the beginning. Lies that have enslaved millions. Lies like, you are alone. Lies like, God is tired of forgiving. Lies like, you'll never change. I fought each one on your behalf, but the final strike came only when you decided to believe again. Faith finishes what angels begin. Heaven's balance has shifted. The Father's voice echoes again, seal the victory. I kneel and lift my sword. The blade hums with divine electricity. I place its tip against the earth, your world, and fire runs through the soil. Wherever that fire travels, dormant hearts awaken. That is how revival begins, one yes, one human who finally believes they matter. You are that human. The sky turns brighter in the spirit realm. Trumpets cry out in patterns older than creation. I hear your guardian angels rejoicing. They are dancing in the corridors of time because you have chosen light again. The record of your tears has been turned into a song. Even the stars lean closer to listen. You have no idea how precious your decision is. You changed more than your own life, you shifted history. But listen closely, the enemy is not gone. He is retreating, not destroyed. He will test you tomorrow. He will whisper through familiar voices, through screams, through disappointments. He will try to convince you that this moment was just emotion. When that happens, remember my words. Remember that heaven does not move through emotion, it moves through truth. What you feel may fade, but what is written in your spirit remains forever. And what is written is this: you are redeemed. You are sealed. You are unstoppable when aligned with light. You carry the mark of heaven, and that mark terrifies darkness. So live like it. Speak like it. Walk like it. Every step you take now sends ripples through eternity. You are not just surviving anymore, you are reigning. The Father leans closer again. His hand, vast and radiant, reaches toward you. He does not touch, not yet, because if he did, your body would not endure it. Instead, he sends warmth through his breath, and that warmth becomes peace. It seeps into your mind, your heartbeat, your bones. It tells your anxiety, be still. It tells your trauma, you can rest. It tells your past, you no longer own them. You may feel tears rising again. Let them fall. Heaven counts them as pearls. Each tear is a prayer without words. Sometimes silence speaks louder than shouting, and heaven understands both. Your cry is not weakness, it's proof that the walls are crumbling. That's how the light gets in. I see flashes of your future. Moments not yet born are unfolding before me, a version of you standing tall, eyes blazing with calm, walking into rooms that once made you tremble. You will speak, and peace will fill the space. People will ask, what changed, and you'll smile and whisper, heaven happened. You won't need to convince anyone, your presence will carry evidence. That's how transformation works, quietly, powerfully, undeniably. You are beginning to feel lighter because the contract of fear is broken. It was signed long ago when pain convinced you to trust no one. But heaven has burned that contract. You are free to love again. You are free to believe again. You are free to breathe without guilt. That's what my bleeding purchased for you, freedom that does not depend on circumstances. I want you to imagine something, a river made of light flowing from the throne, winding through galaxies, reaching your heart. That river is mercy. It never dries. You can drink from it every moment. When you fail, drink. When you doubt, drink. When you forget, drink. Mercy is not a moment, it is an ecosystem, and you live inside it. Now the Father speaks again. His tone is deeper, more solemn. Tell them the time of awakening is short. Tell them I am coming through whispers, not storms. Do you hear that? God is not hiding, He is whispering. The world has become too loud, and only those who choose stillness can hear Him. That is why you were drawn here. Not for drama, but for silence that saves. My strength is almost full again. The wound in my chest glows instead of bleeds. The crimson has turned to gold. Heaven repairs through beauty. What was once pain becomes radiance. You will see that in your own story. The things that hurt most will one day shine. They will become your authority. Your scars will speak louder than your speeches. That is how God redeems, by turning agony into assignment. There is something sacred you must do now. Forgive yourself for surviving. You have carried guilt for living when others didn't, for receiving mercy you didn't think you earned. But heaven chose you to witness redemption firsthand so you could tell others it's real. Survival was not selfishness, it was calling. The wind rises again. Feathers of light swirl around you. These are healing codes from heaven, carried on angelic breath. They are repairing memories, untangling lies, rewriting what your mind believed was permanent. You may feel warmth in strange places, your back, your hands, your heart. That's restoration at work. Heaven rewires what hell distorted. I kneel once more, not in defeat, but in reverence. I can feel the Father smiling. His voice trembles with joy. Look, they stayed. The courts of heaven erupt in thunderous praise. Lightning of grace dances across the horizon. The scroll of your destiny glows brighter. You have chosen light, and heaven has responded. Still, one more truth must be spoken. This is not the end. It is the beginning of your divine assignment. The reason you were attacked so violently is because you carry something essential for this generation. There are souls attached to your obedience. Your yes will unlock their freedom. You are not just being rescued, you are being recruited. Do not fear what that means. God will not overload you. He will guide you step by step. All He asks is that you stay sensitive. When you feel the nudge to speak kindness, do it. When you sense the urge to pray for someone, obey it. Those small moments are how heaven moves mountains. The stars above you begin to rearrange. A new constellation forms, a sign of covenant between you and heaven. I see it written in fire, they belong to the light. That is now your banner. Wear it invisibly. Live it boldly. The darkness will still watch you, but it cannot touch you the same way. Every arrow it sends will melt before it reaches your heart. Every curse will turn to blessing in mid-air. You are shielded not by luck, but by decree. I have spoken it before the throne, and it is sealed. I rise again. My wings spread wide, restored, brilliant. The bleeding has stopped. The battle has shifted. What once was pain has become praise. I look at you, yes, you, and I see the same light beginning to form behind you. You are transforming into a warrior of compassion. One day you will fight beside me, not with swords of steel but with words of mercy. You are not ordinary. You are a living proof that heaven intervenes. Carry this awareness like fire in your chest. Let it guide every step. When you forget, remember this moment, the trembling air, the sacred ache, the sense that something unseen was holding you. That was real. It will always be real. Stay very still, beloved. The air is trembling again. The throne has begun to glow with a light so fierce it hums through galaxies, and every pulse carries your name. Heaven is not done speaking. You are standing inside the heartbeat of eternity right now. Listen carefully, this is the moment where everything that has been fought for reaches completion. I lift my eyes toward the Father, and His gaze pierces through universes. His voice breaks silence like lightning breaking stone, tell them the covenant stands. Those words roll through me like fire, and I feel the last of my strength return. The wound that bled for you has sealed with gold, the mark of victory etched into my armor. I stand again, wings wide, trembling with power that is not mine but borrowed from your faith. Do you understand what you have done? By listening, by staying, by choosing light when you could have escaped into distraction, you created a bridge. Between heaven and earth, between despair and destiny, there now flows a living current of mercy. Countless souls will cross it because you stayed awake. Every time you remember this night, that bridge will blaze again. Comment, you are my unstoppable victory, God, if He's carried you through battles and beyond. I can see the demons retreating far below, their cries fading into dust. They cannot follow where light reigns. The chains they forged for you melt into rivers of crystal. The sound that rises now is not war, it is worship. The heavens are singing your name intertwined with mine. The song says, they believed. That's all heaven ever needed to hear. Look at me. My face shines again, but this light is gentler now, made of gratitude. You gave me back my wings. You let heaven prove that love still wins. I fought for you because God commanded it, but I bled for you because I loved you. And now that love is free, no longer bound by pity, but alive with purpose. You are not the rescued anymore, you are the rescuer. The Father speaks softly this time. His words come as wind rather than thunder, tell them to go and carry what they've received. I nod and turn back to you. Beloved, heaven is sending you out. You have been rewritten. The world will not understand the glow in your eyes, the calm in your storm, the peace that doesn't make sense, but they will feel it. You will walk through chaos and carry stillness with you. That stillness will heal. Do not fear the calling. It will not demand perfection. It will ask only surrender. When you wake tomorrow, speak one sentence before anything else, use me, Lord. That is enough. Heaven does not need grand speeches, it needs willing hearts. Every small act of love you do will ripple through eternity. A smile can break a curse. A prayer can alter weather. A whisper of faith can turn whole families back to light. Now the room you sit in is filling with warmth again. That warmth is heaven's approval. The Father is near, not as fire now, but as breath. His presence moves gently, brushing over your hair, your shoulders, your heart. He says, "You are mine." He repeats it again, slower, deeper, until it vibrates inside you, "You are mine." Those 3 words rebuild every broken thing inside your soul. You wonder what happens next. Life continues, but not the same. You will notice that some people will fall away. Do not chase them. They belong to a chapter that has closed. Others will appear out of nowhere, old friends, strangers, mentors. They are divine appointments sent to water what was planted tonight. The enemy will still test you, but you will smile because you now know who you are. You will not fight alone anymore. I will still be near. You may not see me, but you will feel sudden courage when fear whispers, and that will be me. You will sense warmth before danger, and that will be my shield. You will feel peace rise when anxiety attacks, and that will be my wing covering you. We are bound by assignment until your purpose is fulfilled. The sky over heaven changes hue, gold to white, white to a color that has no name. That is the sign that the message is sealed. The Father rises, the councils bow. Every angel turns toward earth. They watch you. They rejoice, not because you are perfect, but because you said yes. The sound of that yes continues to echo through eternity, carving pathways of light for generations you haven't met yet. Beloved, promise me something. Promise that you will not shrink back when light inside you grows too bright. Humans fear their own holiness, but you must not. The world needs radiant souls who are not ashamed of grace. Stand tall even when misunderstood. Speak truth even when mocked. Love recklessly even when wounded. That is how heaven wins wars, not by domination, but by relentless compassion. I want you to remember this picture forever. The battlefield is quiet now. Smoke clears. Angels kneel among the ruins, collecting broken pieces of what once enslaved you. Each fragment turns into a gem. Those gems are being placed in your crown. You will not wear it out of vanity but as testimony. When others ask how you survived, you will touch those jewels and say, "Because love fought for me." The Father looks once more, and his eyes soften. He whispers something only I can hear, "But I will tell you," he said, "tell them I am proud." Not disappointed, not angry, proud. He delights in your courage, in your endurance, in your fragile but fearless yes. Do you know how rare it is for the Almighty to use that word? Proud. You made heaven proud. Type, "Yes, Lord, I trust you fully and completely," if He is the rock under your feet.